The amazing fish obviously speak for themselves. I mean, these are award-winning fish from the surrounding mountains.
I mean, it's jaw-dropping, right? It's just so incredibly beautiful.
We need to give Shaq a Shaq-sized koi.
So many places for reflection in a garden like this. I absolutely love it. I'm blown away.
Everything is so intentional and balanced. It feels amazing in here.
Being in Japan has completely changed my perspective. Hey, good morning everybody. The Pond Professor here. I am coming to you from the doorstep of the Koi Museum. We are just outside of the mountains where we have been exploring and meeting with all the different koi farms, and now we're going to get a little history lesson, which is really cool. You know me, perpetual student, love learning new stuff, so I'm totally looking forward to this day and see firsthand, you know, where everything started, you know, so get some of that history on this incredible culture, as well as this amazing hobby keeping these fish.
So they call this Nishikigoi no Sato, which is the Nishikigoi Museum in Ojiya City, which is part of Niigata Prefecture. They built this to appreciate the industry in Ojiya, especially, and Nagaoka. They have all the houses, they have koi on them. I mean, we'll even go past the subway, like the underground, you walk through a koi's mouth. They really do appreciate the industry in this area, so the government, they realise how much money it produces for the area and how many people it employs. So they built this museum many years ago now, a long time ago. It's a fantastic place and it's a fantastic thing for the community in general in Japan. Yeah, you'll see everything in here and you can read about everything, but now they've changed it up a little bit. It's more modern, like these fish here, these are more modern era fish. So these are sort of like, these are Dainichi koi, the all Japan champions, and then they'll go through other varieties and stuff like that. But yeah, have a look around, it's a great place.
All right, let's check out this incredible show pond right here. Waterfalls, amazing pathways. Look at these monstrous boulders over here. Now we're talking. This is my language here. Just an amazing design right here in the middle of the museum. Jack, tell me about some of your thoughts when you first come in and check out this amazing garden space.
So you're talking about like the people that started this all, right? The Japanese gardens, the way they've been designing them for hundreds of years, and the importance they put on boulders. I'm a rock guy, I know you're a rock guy, and seeing stuff like this where you're looking at something that's probably 8 or 10 tons for one piece of stone, but it gives it so much substance in the landscape and the way the water flows around it. I love the way they use all the conifers and the low growing stuff, going very simple landscape. You look around a lot of flat areas, but then the way they have the plants growing over the rocks. Some of the stuff that we try to do on a daily basis with our design is hide some of the rocks, but just have the importance of something coming out from the water surface, giving you a focal point. So many places for reflection in a garden like this. I absolutely love it. I'm blown away.
What is your initial thoughts coming into this place?
I mean, it's jaw-dropping, right? It's just so incredibly beautiful. Really just trying to pay attention to the design and try to relate it to things that we've done back home. And we always talk about pathways and bridges that need to lead to destination spots on the other side. I love these stepping stones, but these stepping stones are nothing compared to those stepping stones over there. Simplicity of the waterfall, like big rock on one side, big rock on the other side. And then the way all the plants and everything come back together. It's so incredible. It's gorgeous.
Wow, just blown away by the attention to detail here. The amazing fish obviously speak for themselves. I mean, these are award-winning fish from the surrounding mountains, from all the local koi farms. So this is an incredible showcase of what can actually be grown right here in the Niigata area. But then we also have the garden space itself. Big giant moss-covered boulders, naturalistic waterfalls. I mean, this is exactly what I would do from a design and installation standpoint. But they're the masters. They've been doing it here for much longer than we have, so we can always learn from their concepts here. The mosses, the little splash zones. So this is that riparian habitat that you've heard me talk about 1,000 times. The riparian zone, the area where the water meets the land, highly diverse. We're starting it out, and then you just let a little bit of nature take over. but the Japanese have done it so incredibly well here. So we have this really naturalistic kind of a feel here, and then we come over here and it's definitely more manicured, trained very specifically, and you have reflection points. I mean, this little spot right here, awesome. So you have kind of this elevated area where you come out from the main building itself, a small reflecting point that's right at the water's edge, which is just an incredible little detail where you could see these amazing fish. Directly across from that little viewing area, you have this massive chunk of rock. I mean, we're looking at a 20,000 plus pound boulder right there. And then behind that, we're just creating all these different layers. Then you have the sight and sound of this waterfall in the background. And then the incredible plants found all the way around. The Japanese maples, these beautiful black pines. These have been carefully trained to kind of just cascade over everything, just to represent the amazing mountains found throughout the country. Little rustic staircases kind of coming up. Having access to this incredible stone is just, would be amazing. Love, love, love to build something here, and we actually are talking about coming back and doing an installation here, which would be incredible. You have that water bubbling up, and then it just works its way in between these beautiful boulders and mosses down over that waterfall where everybody can see it. Love, love, love the different layers, elevation changes that going up in the mountains. Bridges, walkways, pathways, the sound of cascading water that fills the entire space. And then that view directly from the main koi showroom. The stuff inside is amazing, but this is really my world out here.
Everything is amazing, and you know what? It's really just their style. My buddy Derek always says it, man. How you do anything is how you do everything. And this place just so feels like that. You know, I was just standing over here, just looking at like the fountain over here. It's insane. It's just like everything is, you can just tell how much energy and thought. Like there's the rock to stand on, and there's something to fill, and it's all carved into a boulder. The drain out, it's just like every single thing in here has been thought out and placed. And if you look at these ginormous bonsai trees, I mean, how old do you think this thing has to be? And the way it just perfectly leans out over, like everything is so intentional and balanced. It feels amazing in here. That's what I keep saying. Like, it's hard to put into words, but it's truly a feeling that they've generated. I say that in my designs a lot. People are like, how do you explain what you're doing? I'm like, you just gotta feel right. This feels right.
Okay, Diego, so you were just telling me just literally a minute ago that this is very similar to your climate.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna see in the Pacific Northwest. So what are you gonna take away to go home from a design standpoint to kind of replicate some of this stuff?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I find really intriguing is things like this pine coming right over the waterfall. So planting something that actually can come out and project itself over the waterfall in that area, something that we don't do very often. We kind of keep things back. We don't use a lot of the pines, see them a lot at the nursery, but it's just something I've never gravitated towards as much. And seeing them in this environment has really changed my mind about how I want to plant, how I want to do things.
All right, Greg, what are we doing at this location?
Well, we were here yesterday. This guy had the biggest koi that we have seen so far. So we came back here to pick out a fish. Brian is going to bring this fish to Shaquille O'Neal.
Can you dig it?
I figured we need to give Shaq a Shaq-sized koi. So we have a beautiful Yamabuki Ogon here. It's almost 3 feet. It's going to make its way down to Atlanta this June when Aquascape rebuilds this pond.
Awesome, this is spectacular. We are checking out the mud ponds, the natural earthen ponds where they grow out these incredible koi. The team is getting ready right now. They've drained down the water on that one to go in to start catching the fish, but I'm over here on this side checking out the one that's already been drained down, and I just want to show you what the bottom of this thing actually looks like so you can see what these healthy ecosystems are made of. They call them mud ponds. You could see some of the clay down here, and that's because they are clay based, which is going to hold the water in place. But then over the top of the clay, you're going to have a normal, healthy, benthic substrate. So that means we have a mixture of different sized rocks and boulders and sand and silt and river rock and all this stuff that's down here on the bottom, because it is the basis of life. So this is where all the little microorganisms are going to live. They're part of the cycling process for nutrients inside of the aquatic ecosystem. This is what koi are naturally going to start to feed. They're going to be down here in the bottom, constantly feeding on everything. Literally the biofilms, the nematodes, the little things that live within the interstitial spaces of all of that material down in the bottom. So this is part of a healthy ecosystem. So now what we want to do is start walking over this side to check out these fish. So here we are.
So there's 25 fish in here.
25.
Yeah, and they're all.
It's a massive pond, only 25 fish.
You can see why they get all this space to grow.
Just to grow.
And it's relatively clear.
It's actually much clearer than I thought. So the seine net is getting pulled tighter and tighter together. So all those fish are just going to get pinched off inside of this, and then we're going to move them over into the tanks, which will get brought back over to the greenhouse. I am loving the stuff down here on the bottom. The fish are spectacular, obviously, but this is where all the life happens. If you don't have the right substrate, if you don't have that biology, you're never going to get the healthy fish. You're never going to get the water quality that you're looking for, as well as feeding areas for the fish who are coming in here for grazing. If you drain water out of a river system, if you drain water out of a lake, what are you going to see? And this is what's on the bottom. This is what I'm going to replicate. We are at Centauros. That vehicle has all the fish that we just brought in from the mud pond, bringing them in as we speak. They're grading them, they're inspecting the fish, they're also doing measurements, and then they're putting them over here into the holding. The skill, the care they have for the animals is just awesome to see. Several generations working together. All right, Brian, tell us a little bit about Shintaro, your relationship, how long it's been.
Been working with him for like 6 years now. He's one of the best ghost sanke breeders in all of Japan. We just did a sanke and kahaku harvest, 25 pieces, all 4-year-old koi, some really big fish. He handles all of our shipping and logistics. So everything we do here, he does all of that for us. Without him, it's impossible to do business here. So big asset to our business and you guys coming out here to buy koi. We're honored to do this harvest with him.
How many fish have you purchased over this?
Oh,
do you even know?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Well, yeah, we appreciate you showing us the ropes here. It's been an incredible experience, and I'm looking forward to more of it. Okay. We are talking about doing an aquascape ecosystem pond here. This is going to be a future build. What I love about this is we are at Shintaro's location, so this is where countless fish and buyers from around the world are coming through to work with him. So what we want to do is create a full-blown ecosystem pond. You can see the mud bottom ponds over here. We want to have a recirculating system, but it's going to be more of a water garden. This is going to be an ecosystem style. We're going to end up taking out these concrete troughs over here because they're no longer being used. We might actually end up cutting into the concrete a little bit, but we have to figure out some of those details. But we have tons of space to work with, easy access. I would love to come in here, do a wetland filter in this upper location, and then carve into this hillside, create a system that is literally designed right after the incredible mountain streams that are found throughout this entire valley area that we're in. So we're going to have the wetland on top, carving into this, and then we could come in with those beautiful mossy boulders to create a dramatic waterfall coming down. The water will end up down here in the ecosystem pond, and then the system will be recirculated. The pond will be stocked with, obviously, with incredible fish. Now, all the fish that they currently have inside of the greenhouses, those are set up and they don't live in those ponds. Those are basically brought inside for the different buyers to come in to view the fish. Remember, this is a farming community, so they are working with these incredible animals, and it is a production type of a setup. So they have incredible care, they have an incredible understanding of these amazing animals, but it's very utilitarian. It's easy for them to get in, for access, for showing, for actually netting out the fish for the different buyers. The pond that we want to do here is going to be aesthetic. Beautiful pond system where we could showcase those incredible animals in more of a naturalistic setting.